Well, to end off our U.S. election week, we are bringing back our panel for reaction on what is next in the United States as we inch closer to knowing who will be the country's next president. Avis Jones-DeWeever is the editor-in-chief of Max Black's Politics, and Anita McBride is the former assistant to U.S. President George W. Bush. They are back with us again today. Great to see you, ladies, as we end off this
Morning.
week. I mean, you guys, we're all watching. The closeness of the race makes it clear that whoever wins is going to be leading a divided nation. I mean, right now we are watching 5 states that are all, if they're not statistically tied, within single-digit percentage points. I mean, you see the division there when you look at this map. Regardless of who wins in the next couple of days, what needs to happen to move forward and unite the country? Let's start with Anita, and then Avis will bring you in.
Well, good morning. And I think one of the first things and most important things for all Americans is to feel confident that every legitimate vote was counted, that there was transparency in the process, that the laws as applicable by each state were followed. I think people want that confidence, particularly since the votes are so close. And also, you know, having been a poll watcher myself, I mean, there is some legitimate argument that if you're in the room to observe, which is allowed, that you're actually able to see what's happening. So I can see where the concern is there, but that doesn't mean I subscribe to what the president said on television last night. We don't want to believe there's fraud in our elections.
Well, I just want to pick up on that point, because although you may say that it is important that people understand that, when the president in the White House is saying, don't believe the process, that does not instill confidence.
Well, that's why the laws as applied and the process and as enforced by each state needs to be followed to the letter of the law. And that will dispute that at the end of the day when all the legitimate votes are counted and seen and it's transparent.
Avis, let's bring you in on this. What will it take to move forward?
Absolutely. So, here's a prime example of it. We will never be able to unify the nation as long as you have one Republican Party that is willing to lie over and over and over again. So, for example, what the president said yesterday in the White House was that they weren't allowing Republicans to witness the counting at all, which was a lie. At the same time, he had his lawyers with a lawsuit asking that they be allowed to be 6 feet away or closer. I think they even asked for 4 feet instead of 10 feet away. And there is an issue with social distancing regarding COVID. So the sort of the compromise was to have them 6 feet away. But he's telling the American people that they're not there at all. Mm-hmm. They had a stunt of a press conference that once again alleged that they weren't there at all. And so here's what the problem is. You cannot have 2 sets of facts. And unfortunately, the president and his cronies have an entire ecosystem of a propaganda arm that continuously lies to millions of people, and they believe whatever he says. And I believe they're doing it knowing that they're going to lose, specifically to sabotage the incoming presidency.
And just to add a point of clarity to that as well, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats are all allowed in the room, and those distance requirements apply to all 3 of those groups, not just the Republicans. Let's move on to the 2 big issues that divided voters. Exit polls from Edison Research show 91% of Democrats view racial inequality as the most important issue. 8% of Republicans saw that as the most important. Let's flip over that board. Turning to the economy, 81% of Republicans view this as the most important issue. 17% of Democrats view it as the most important. So, you know, as I've been noticing all week, Americans seem to be divided on what they're divided about. And going back to the economy versus racial inequality, you could argue that the economy as it is leads to racial inequalities in other areas. So it really ties together as the same problem. So how then do you move forward as a country when you're A, divided on the most important issues, and B, those issues feed into one another? What do you need to see from the White House going forward? I'm going to ask Avis first.
Okay. Well, see, the issue here is that the 2, as you just astutely mentioned, are intricately related. However, it's my belief that the reason why you have more Democrats, which are a much more diverse party, prioritizing issues of racial inequality is because it's not just about the economics. It's about living. We have seen a spike in hate crimes in this country. We see political and police departments all across this country that has been given cover by this particular Justice Department and police and presidency to continue to be murderous when it comes to communities of color and specifically Black people. And so, if, yes, everybody wants a job, but people want to live first. And I believe that is what you're seeing in the breakdown there. That's what you're seeing in the differences.
Anita, your thoughts?
Well, it is hard to see the economics of and the health of a community not be linked, right? People need to be able to support themselves. They need to be able to have communities where they feel safe, can be educated, and feel that they are part of the community and protected and safe in those communities. I think it's not going to be just the White House, who's ever in the White House, to lead this repair over the big divide in our country. I think the Congress has gotten a big wake-up call, too, because even if Donald Trump loses, Joe Biden wins, down ballot, there still, is a Republican Senate, more Republican congressmen and women in the House. They are going to have to get past these last 4 years and really work hard together. And that's what the nation needs to see, because they're frustrated that things are not better for people in our country, and now layered over by a pandemic that has really shown where the disparities are.
Avis and Anita, I want to thank you both for joining us here in your morning. We have all enjoyed your coverage over this past week. I think one of the things I'm going to miss the most
Still coming.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll have a chance to talk Monday. We'll see. Thank you both so much. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.